If you've been following the channel for a while now, you know I absolutely love the Sony WH-CH700N because of their ANC performance. But I know dropping $350 on a pair of headphones is a lot for some people. So let's check out Sony's newest and cheapest ANC headphones, the Sony WH-CH700N. And let's see how the ANC on these guys stacks up to the ANC on the WH-CH700N. Okay, from here on out, I'm going to be referring to these headphones as the 700Ns. These headphones come in either black, silver, or blue colorways, and they currently retail for $199.99. And like I mentioned earlier, the WH-CH700Ns usually retail for $350. If you want to pick either of these headphones up, I'll have links in the description below, and if you use the links, it really helps out the channel. I suggest you check them out because Sony headphones routinely go on sale, so you might get lucky. First, let's go over what comes in the box, because I was genuinely surprised that these headphones didn't come included with at least a carrying pouch. Regardless, I still recommend you invest in a hardshell carrying case if you plan on traveling a lot with these headphones. These headphones do come included with a 3.5mm audio cable and a short micro USB cable for charging, and that's it. These headphones also have a lot in common with the Sony XP950N one, particularly when it comes to the plastic body panels. The plastic on the 700Ns is more textured, whereas the WH-CH700N's plastic is completely smooth. The 700Ns also have a stainless steel headband and synthetic leather on the ear cups, which is pretty standard issue for Sony, but they are very lightweight, coming in at just 234 grams, whereas the WH-CH700N's weigh in at 277 grams. When it comes to fit compared to the WH-CH700N's, the 700Ns giveth and they taketh. First off, the 700Ns fit very snug, but keep in mind, I have a big head. But the 700Ns have the most clamping force out of Sony's headphone lineup, but they're not uncomfortable. Since the ear cups pivot and swivel a good deal, they'll be able to conform to most head types. The only bummer is that they don't fold up. The padding on the 700Ns also isn't as soft as the padding found on the WH-CH700N's, but again, they still manage to be comfortable. But what I do like about the 700Ns is their ear cup design. They're much roomier than the ear cups on the WH-CH700N's, but they manage to stay very low profile. They also do a slightly better job of preventing overheating. These are borderline big head approved, but if you want a looser fit with a $200 budget, then you'll be better off with the Audio-Technica ANC 700BT, link for that review up above. If we look at the left ear cup, you're going to see your noise cancellation button to toggle ANC on or off. There's an easily accessible 3.5mm audio jack for passive listening. There's your micro USB cable for charging and the power button. It is important to keep in mind that these headphones do not have an ambient sound setting like the WH-CH700N's. And like I've said in the past, I would have very much preferred if these headphones used a USB-C port instead. I thought Sony would have had jumped on USB-C by now. The right ear cup houses the control buttons, which are very similar to the control buttons found on the XP950N ones. There's a volume rocker so you can adjust the volume, and there's a switch so you can quickly skip or go back a track. And if you press it, you can play or pause your music. And I really like these controls because you can quickly and easily skim through your music, even faster than the touch controls used on the Sony WH-CH700N, which I'm not hating on because they're very accurate, but not as fast as the physical rocker. It is also important to keep in mind that both the 700Ns and WH-CH700N's will support Google Assistant in the near future, like the Bose QC35 Series 2. That feature hasn't been released yet, but just know it is coming. But in the meantime, you can summon your voice assistant by pressing and holding the rocker down. Just like the WH-CH700N's, the 700Ns is using Bluetooth 4.1, and they have a range of about 40 feet with direct line of sight. The connection on these headphones is very stable, and there weren't many issues even if there was a wall or two between the headphones and my phone. These headphones are also pretty good for watching video because their latency isn't that bad. But these headphones can only be connected to one device at a time, so if you're a power user, that might be a setback. It's one of the things I hate most about the WH-CH700N's. But the 700Ns have an extraordinarily long battery life. Sony advertises a battery life of 35 hours, and with ANC and Bluetooth turned on and with the volume set at 50%, these guys managed to average 37 hours of playback time. And with ANC turned off, these guys managed to hit 45 hours of playback time. But even though their battery life is impressive, their quick charging isn't. If you plug them in for 10 minutes, they'll get you 1 hour playback time, which is laughable compared to other headphones out there. When it comes to the active noise cancellation on the 700Ns, obviously it's not going to be as good as the ANC on the 1000XM2. The ANC on the 700N manages to block out a good amount of road noise when you're on the bus, but when it comes to blocking out chatter, the 700Ns don't really do much. But like the 1000XM2s, the 700Ns don't have any noticeable cabin pressure.
Noise cancelling.
And like I mentioned earlier, the 700Ns don't have the ambient sound feature, which allows you to pump in some of the surrounding sounds, and they also don't have quick attention, which is by far my favorite feature found on the 1000XM2. When it comes to sound quality, the 700Ns have a surprising amount of bass, and through Sony's headphones app you can go in and adjust the EQ on these headphones. So if you want, you can crank the bass up to a 10, or you can bring the mids out and put an emphasis on vocalists. But definitely these headphones do not share the same clarity and white soundstage found on the 1000XM2. No matter how much I played around with the EQ on the 700N, there just wasn't enough instrument separation, so everything just sounds close together. And these headphones don't really sound that different with ANC turned on or off. But if you're going to be listening to music out in public, just know these headphones do have a considerable amount of sound leakage. Like, your bus partner is going to be able to sing along. Through Sony's app, you can also toggle ANC on or off, but you can't adjust how strong you want it. And you can also play around with the surround setting on these headphones, but since all that feature does is distort the music, I never use it. Okay, and here's the microphone test, and it's not that bad. If you're going to talk to somebody on the phone, you might have to speak up a little bit, but this audio clip is being recorded by the microphone on the Sony WH-CH700N, so you be the judge of that. So, for $200, the ANC on the Sony WH-CH700N is really only worth using for your bus ride commute to work or school, or in an already quiet office. If you're walking around in the city or in a much noisier environment like an airport, the ANC on the 700Ns isn't going to do much. I just can't stress how good the ANC on the 1000XM2 is. But in general, the 700Ns are a pretty good buy because they have good build quality for $200 headphones and they fit very well, just as long as you don't have a big head. They have a very long battery life, which makes them great for everyday carry. Their low latency make them good for watching videos, but they don't sound amazing, just good enough. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. Support the channel by clicking on the links down below, and I'll catch you next time.